Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today, His Grace Swayam Prakash Prabhu will be giving Srimad Bhagavatam class. He'll be joining in a minute or two. Kindly stay with us. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. His Grace Swayam Prakash Prabhu will be joining in a minute.
Hare Krishna. So, am I audible?
Hare Krishna, Swayam Prakash Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very glad and fortunate to have the association of His Grace Swayam Prakash Prabhu, who will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 5, chapter number 14 and sloka number 25. Prabhuji, over to you. Prabhuji, you would like to share the screen by yourself, Prabhu?
Yes, bro. I'll just share. I'm just taking one. This one. I'll just share.
Okay, Prabhuji. You can start the video. That would be nice.
Yes, bro. I'll start. Just. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती रुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय. Next one, we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter 14, text 20.
Prabhuji, your audio volume is, your voice is little low, Prabhu.
Really? I'll just check, Prabhu. I'm just.
How about other devotees? Is it only me or?
Yes, Prabhu, very low, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Really? Now? Now is it okay, Prabhu? Because I increased the volume in the...
Little better,
Okay.
Prabhu.
It's okay, Prabhu. It's okay now.
Yeah, because these are... I have put the maximum volume in the this one. I'll speak loudly if need be. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Prabhu.
क्वचित् च शीतवातादि अनेका दैविका भौतिकात्मै आत्मीयनां दशानां निवारणे कल्पो दुरन्ता चिन्तया विषण्ण आस्ते. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Being unable to protect himself from the threefold miseries of material existence, the conditioned soul becomes very morose and lives a life of lamentation. These threefold miseries are miseries suffered by mental calamity at the hands of the demigods, such as freezing wind and scorching heat, miseries offered by other living entities, and miseries arising from the mind and the body themselves. But the so-called happy materialistic person is constantly having to endure the threefold miseries of life called Adidevika, Adhyatmika, and Adibhautika. Actually, no one can counteract these threefold miseries. All three may assail one at one time, or misery may be absent and other present. Thus, the living entity is full of anxiety, fearing misery from one side or the other. The conditioned soul must be disturbed by at least one of these three miseries. There is no escape. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वः पदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरद्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण. Seeking the prayers of all the devotees that I would like to serve Srimad Bhagavatam by glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam and trying to read. So I have taken few of the verses from Srila Prabhupada purport itself, which I'll try to share. Just a minute, and just I don't know. So in this discussion of the Bhagavatam, it is coming that mainly discussing about the threefold miseries, which is being spoken here. And this the whole chapter, as all of you are discussing this and aware of, this whole chapter is the Parikshit Maharaj is hearing from Shukadeva Goswami, and Shukadeva Goswami has explained what the discussion between the Rahugana and the King Rahugana and the Jadabharata is happening. In that, Jadabharata speaks about the forest of material enjoyment, like that he speaks in the 13th chapter. He has told, but Rahugana could not understand exactly what, like, could not comprehend completely. So the same thing is being explained further, like the explanation of the 13th verse is the 13th chapter is in the 14th chapter. And this specific verse is the explaining of the fifth canto, 13th chapter, 11th verse. So this actually Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions that in the translation that this verse explains the 5:13:11. So if you go to 5:13:11, क्वचिच्च शीत आतप वातवर्ष प्रतिक्रियां कर्तुम् अनीश आस्ते क्वचिन्मितो विपिन्नान् यच्च किञ्चित् विद्वेषां रुच्यति उत वित्त शाठयात् Sometimes the living entity is busy counteracting the natural disturbances of freezing cold, scorching heat, strong wind, excessive rainfall, and so forth. When he is unable to do so, he becomes very unhappy. Sometimes he is cheated by in business transactions one after another. In this way, by cheating, the living entities create enmity among themselves. So the explanation of the first part of it, that the counteracting the natural disturbances, and this one that is being mentioned here. Prabhupada writes in that purport, this is an example of the struggle for existence, the attempt to counteract the onslaught of material nature. This creates enmity in society, and consequently, society is filled with envious people. One person is envious of another, and this is the way of material world. The Krishna consciousness movement aims at creating an atmosphere of non-envy. Of course, it is not possible for everyone to become Krishna conscious, but the Krishna consciousness movement can create an exemplary society wherein there is no envy. So, this is a description of the later part of the verse which we are discussing today. So, we'll try to, in the little bit of time, we'll try to discuss about why this, what are these, mainly it is discussing about the threefold miseries. We'll discuss about what are these threefold miseries and why it is there, or why it has been inflicted upon us, and if there is any way, what is the way out of, to come out of this suffering? Is it, or can someone come out of it? So that we'll try to discuss. So this threefold miseries, as many of us might be hearing it for many times when we speak, also we speak about these things. What are the three kinds of sufferings? We say Adhyatmika Klesha, Adibhautika Klesha, Adidevika Klesha. In short, now, Adhyatmika Klesha is the suffering which is coming from the body and the mind, which is pertaining to. And as we know that there are so many specializations of medical science, that for each and every part of the body, there is one specific department complete in itself to treat that particular body. Here only, Mataji is there, or dentist what I can say, who has transcended to transcendentalist. So Mataji can tell, even just in the dentistry itself, there are so many specializations, super specializations. Now, first they may study for 4 years, that just hold this one part, just the 32 teeth which are there, and then then again there are so many orthodontics and so many, and again in that other specialization, and that way one side the modern scientific advancement, they are quite what I can say, proud of what they are able to do. See, we are able to find out the solution for so many problems and all they are seeing. But on the other hand, if you carefully see that, yes, they are becoming more and more sophisticated in treating the patient, but they are not trying to understand why that on the first instance itself, why that problem is there, why that is being inflicted, that nobody questions. They're just trying to see, oh, here is a problem, let me patch up. How to give solution for that? Oh, here is a problem, let me how to patch up that. That they are saying that each and every part of the body, right from the tip of the hair to the tip of the toe, it can give ample sufferings. And nobody can deny that, no, I don't have any pain. Because this is, as Prabhupada writes in the purport, that nobody can escape from this. Because this is how this material world is made, and there is a purpose behind everything. As we see anything in this world, we see it has a purpose. This mobile has a purpose, this pen has a purpose, this mouse has a purpose. So everything has a purpose in being present. So the same way, if there is suffering present, there is a purpose behind it. And people in this world, scientists are busy trying to, like, no, rather than finding out why that is being given, that the purpose behind the sufferings, they just try to see how can I fix this problem. So that way they try to find out a temporary solution, and they don't go to the root cause. Or Vanwali going through, he's also a dentist doctor. So he keeps telling many times that he would tell me that generally the allopathy, they treat symptomatic treatment. That means you have a symptom, based on the symptom they give the treatment. Okay, I have a cold. Okay, what is there for the cold? I have a shoulder pain. Okay, painkiller. I have a problem with the, like, no, the some wound and pus is coming from my body. Okay, give that ointment or something. But you would tell me that, like, many a times that it doesn't go to the root cause. What is the root cause? Whereas Ayurveda, they don't treat this the external symptomatic treatment. It goes to a root cause. Okay, here's a boil. What is the cause of the boil? Okay, that is because of the kapha vata pitta imbalance is there. Okay, what is to be done for that? Treat that. Then automatically this boil will go away. Otherwise, I may have a boil in the cheek today, and then tomorrow on the shoulder, day after tomorrow on my thighs. That keeps changing because the root is not solved. So the same way, although it is very nice that our scientists are finding out many ways, but if it doesn't see the what is the core reason, then it just remains incomplete. Rather than, I don't say that science is waste or something, and real spiritualists never say that, reject it, but they say the science or the technology without, like, understanding its purpose, or like understand the purpose of life, it remains incomplete. So that way, one problem is of the problem of the body, which gives so much of issues. Second thing is of the mind. The mind can also give so much of troubles. If somebody looks at us, why he is looking at me only? If he doesn't look, oh, he's not looking at me only. So that way, and the whole Nimans is there for that purpose only, to treat the problems of the mind. And according to the statistics, it is said that in America, like, no, every third person goes to a psychiatrist for smaller or a bigger cause or purpose. So that means, like, no, they were telling that even a psychiatrist goes to another psychiatrist because so many people come and dump their problem. So they also want somebody to whom they can go and dump, or like, share and ask for something. So that is the way this body and the mind is made, and there is a reason behind that. We'll discuss. This is the first problem of the problem of the body and the mind. That is adhyatmika pesha. Second is adi bhautika klesha, suffering which is inflicted by the external sources, which is coming from the outside. Just like we may be sitting and hearing this class or discussing Bhagavatam, the mosquito may come and bite. Or recently we had the corona, the small virus which is unseen by the eyes, which can go inside and cause havoc in the whole world, that, like, no, the whole world came to a standstill kind of state. So that is adi bhautika klesha, sufferings which are inflicted from the outside. And the third one is adi daivika klesha, which are inflicted by the material nature, or the, just like the flood. Now some places it is too cold, and because of the cold, people cannot walk outside. For example, the devotees who are there, or devotees are who are there in the like now some western part of the world, it is two extremes. And some places, one devotee, he stays in Netherlands, so he was telling that there sometimes the sun is there till night 10 o'clock, and early morning 4 o'clock again, like, no, very early the sun comes and goes. Very short time is the night, and sometimes the sun doesn't come only. in some places. So all these things are there. Some place too heat, some place too cold, to the extent that in some places, if the cold breeze, just like no, if the tears start rolling before it comes to a cheek, it is like no, turned into a kind of ice particle. So that much cold, chilling. Once I heard from one devotee, he was sharing uh, from Indradhanu Maharaj, this one, that Maharaj travels to many parts of the world. To one of the place where he had gone in Russia, it is so cold, chilling, that if the everything is kind of a AC, air conditioned, so that it doesn't go beyond this one. If somebody exposes their hand to the open atmosphere, just within like 1-2 minutes, the hand will become like a, you cannot fold your eyes because it becomes kind of a freeze. So that much cold. And even if like no, you do like this, and it will be like quite painful under this one because of that condition. So such is the extremities in the material world. At least fortunately in India, Bharatavarsha, where there are not so extremities. Although if you go to north experiences much more, like Vrindavan and all, cold as well as the heat. That way, at least in this part, at least in Bangalore, we are quite uh, fortunate not to see so much of variation variegated. Although these last 20 years are much drastic changes, but before that it was to be much quite uh, kind of a moderate temperature, not to extremities. So that this is related to the heat, because we read Shita. Shita means the cold. Atapa means the heat. That also we saw. And then wind. At least we have not seen the tornadoes here in these places, but in the US, many places the tornadoes are a big problem. Once it comes, the big tornadoes, they take away the vehicles, they take away many houses. So it creates completely. I saw one video in which, because of this wind, the whole city is filled with the dust particles. The dust particles so much that one cannot go out and cannot see anything. Everything, the whole city, no flights can go, and the vehicles also cannot go properly because the visibility is not so clear. So that way there is with the wind, and sometimes the hurricane or the tornadoes, they are there, and sometimes the flood, the overflowing of the excess water from the rivers, or the cloud burst is there, that also. Or sometimes there is earthquakes. In some places the lava keep flowing in this one. Or sometimes there is live volcanoes. Live volcano means you don't know when it's going to throw away the lava. So all these things are caused by the demigods. So Adhyatmika Klesha, Adibodhika Klesha, Adidevika Klesha, these three sufferings, nobody can say that I am free from it. Somebody may say Adi Bhautika Klesha, oh, I am in such a place that whatever the surroundings are there, that I'll try to mitigate it. Somebody may say, I stay in a place where these things are not there. Okay, he may try to avoid Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika Klesha. And he may say that like Adi Bhautika Klesha, suffering from the outside also, I'll try to avoid it. I'll stay in a place where nobody comes, no external sources can cause me pain. Even if these two he keeps aside, as Prabhupada says in the purport, at least one or all of them are inflicted upon us. So he can keep aside all these two, but he cannot keep aside his body and the mind anytime. And that's going to give a problem. So what to speak of like the ordinary, insignificant souls like all of us? The greatest of great personalities, people, Napoleon Bonaparte, Alexander the Great, they have come and they have gone. They could not stop them. And what to speak of they are tiny puny when compared to Hiranyakashipu, who had a audacity or who had the capacity and the power to control the devatas also. Even the devatas are the what do you call the cause for this adi daivika klesha, those who inflict these things, but he could control them to the extent that whenever he would, like with the just the rising of the eyebrow, he could see that, oh, it is too cold now. Immediately the sun, just understanding his mind, the sun would come and would give the heat. And if he feels that, oh, it is too heat, then immediately the sun would go, and the drizzling would happen and the cool air would breeze. That was the power of Hiranyakashipu. With just the movement of the eyebrows, all the devatas would tremble. And such Hiranyakashipu could not control his own mind. When everybody in the world could respect him, appreciate him, glorify him, and follow him, only one small boy of 5 year old, his own son, he didn't follow him. He was appreciating Narada Muni, or he was worshipping Lord Hari. Can you imagine that everyone in the world is following you at your footsteps, and only one small boy of 5 year old, he says he, opposite to that, and he becomes disturbed. He's disturbed in the mind. So again, this mind can give the problem. To the extent of that, even he didn't worry about his body also. The body was eaten up by the ants. He was just, whole his life, air, prana was there in the skeleton. He could do such austerity. That means he was not on the, no, in one sense, but he was not on the body platform also. Sometimes we say we are not the body, but we are worried about our body too much. But he was not that also. But still, he could not deal with his own mind. So, to the extent that he wanted to kill his own son. So that means nobody in this world can be free from any of these three things: Adhyatmika Klesha, Adibodhika Klesha, Adidevika Klesha. So then, if that is there, then there should be some purpose. As we saw that everything has a purpose, there should be some purpose behind it. What is that? That's what Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, when he meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked the same question that no, he asked that no, ke ami, that was the first question he asked. Kene amai jare tapatrai. That he says, I'll just share it. So when Sanatana Goswami meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also surrenders to him. And he says that everybody says in the previous verse, he says that everybody calls me Pandita. Apanara hita hita kichuna jani gramya vyavahare pandita tai satyamani. I do not know what is beneficial for me or what is detrimental. Nonetheless, in ordinary dealing, people consider me a learned scholar, and I am also thinking of myself as such. And actually, Sanatana Goswami Upad was, who was he? He was the prime minister of Nawab Hussain Shah. And he had such knowledge that Nawab Hussain Shah didn't want to leave him. And he was so capable. And what he's saying, he's such a, on one side, he was in terms of the material competence, he was highly competent. In his devotion, he was highly devotional, because of which only that at one point of the time, he didn't want to go and work. He was just sitting and discussing Srimad Bhagavatam with all the devotees. If you go to Ramikeli today also, he had made the Surupa Sanatana Goswami in their house, backside their house, they had made Radha Kund, Sham Kund and Giri Govardhan. And they would discuss with the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's saying this. And he says, कृपा करी यदि मोरे करिया च उद्धार आपना कृपा ते कह कर्तव्य आमार. What is my duty? Please tell me. And then he says, के आमी केने आमाई ज्वारे तापत्राय यह नहीं जानी केमते हित होय. Who am I? Why do threefold miseries always give me trouble? If I do not know this, how can I be benefit? And then Prabhupada explains what are the three, this one. Miserable conditions, okay. These threefold miseries are always before us and they entrap in a dangerous situation. Padam padam yad vipadam na tesham. There is danger at every step. That means this is going to be there always. And then he says, like now he goes ahead asking that for this one. And like if we see then like now even Srila Sanatana Goswami Pada wants to know why it is. And the Shastras say that the purpose behind this is to remind the living entity that this is not the permanent place. This, we know that this Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita itself, this dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This world is a dukkhalaya and it is ashashvata, that is, it is temporary. How can one try to find a complete happiness in the temporary place? So that's why, or sometimes it happens that when one goes to a like the hotel is not a permanent place. It is just a temporary place. The hotel is made in such a elegant way that it may have all the facilities and everything at the just the tip of the this one, that one may think, oh, it is so nice, wonderful facility, but nobody is going to stay permanently in the what do you call the hotel. They are there for some time. It's a temporary place. They finish their work and they may come back. So that is the same way this material world also Krishna has made it as a dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It is not a shashvata place. Because if this is made as a sukhalaya, then people may never want to leave this place and come. They are happy here only. And if it is made as sukhalaya, Krishna being the loving father, there may not be any way that people may ever think about leaving this place. And he being the Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavantiya Tatsam Brahma Mahattesham Aham Bija Pradapita. He being the father, he is concerned about each and every living entity. That if he is there, if I make everything fully pakka, then he will not come back. But at the same time, Krishna is Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Krishna is complete and his creation is complete. And there cannot be any incompleteness in his creation. And that's why we say that somebody may say, then why Krishna's creation is not complete? Because he has made it as a Dukkhalaya. It should be Sukhalaya if it is to be complete. No. Because there's a reason behind it. That it is a complete in the sense that the Krishna has given the facility for all the living entity to fulfill their desire according to their wish, and he has made all the arrangement in this material world. But at the same time, his wish is that they don't stay here. For that also he has made complete arrangement. He has given this arrangement of the whole world, but he has made in such a way that you come here to enjoy, but you cannot completely enjoy. So you want to fulfill? Yes, you can fulfill in certain ways, and there's a limitation. How much one can enjoy, how long one can enjoy. So that way, there's a purpose is that they should go back to the spiritual world, which is the ultimate purpose. So that way, this creation is complete by giving this misery so that the purpose of the living entity going back to the spiritual world can take place. And that's why Krishna, through his agent Maya Shakti, Maya Devi, Durga, in this material world, who is the mother of all the living entity, she inflicts these threefold miseries. That's why we see in the hand of Mother Durga the Trishul, trident, and it has the three sharp edges. And those three sharp edges represent this Adhyatmika Klesha, Adhibhautika Klesha, Adhidevika Klesha. And through that, she keeps poking the living entity to remind us that this is not the place to stay. Please go away from here. Please go away from here. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarthi Thakur used to tell one story, Praharena Dhananjaya. that Dhananjaya had gone to his in-laws' place, and there was a festival, and that in the function, his father-in-law had many daughters. All of them had come. The function got over. After that, 1-2 of them they left. After 1-2 days, another 1-2 left, and after some days, he saw that 3-4 of them still there. 1 week, 10 days, 15 days. Then he started reducing all the special items he would make because the son-in-laws have come. When he saw that they are not living, he reduced, started giving simple thing. Few of them understood, oh, now we are not getting what we are getting. They also left, except one person, this Dhananjay. He was not leaving only. Then his father-in-law saw that this fellow is not living. He took a stick and started beating. That time he left the place. So like that only, in Maya Devi, some people are there who are very cautious or conscious of, oh, this is not the place. Just want to finish the job and get out from here. And that's what Srila Sanatana Goswami is telling, that he is worried about why I am suffering. I don't want it. And Sanatana Goswami is asking that for the benefit of all others, that otherwise we don't want to know. At least when they ask, hearing them, we will be thinking, oh, we may come to know the reason. So that way, the Maya Devi inflicts pain on us so that we may be reminded, oh, here so much of pain is there. I want to go to a place where there are no pain. That's why this world is called as Kuntaloka. And where there is no suffering, that is Vaikuntaloka. That is a spiritual world. And the purpose of the creation is to send the living entity from this Kuntaloka to the Vaikuntaloka. That's why these sufferings are there. So we saw what are these threefold miseries, and can anybody escape it? Nobody can escape these threefold miseries. And we saw that why it is inflicted upon us. And now Srimad Bhagavatam at many places tells that yes, how one can get what is the solution for these threefold miseries? That is ultimately to go back to the spiritual world. Or even if one is in this world, how one can protect himself from that. And Shla Govinda Ghosh Thakur also says, Shita Atapa, that Bajahure Mana in that song, Shita Atapa Bata Barishana Yedina Jamini Jagire Vifale Sevinu Krupana Durjana Chapala Sukhala Balagire. That these all are being inflicted upon us, but Chapala Sukhala Balagire. Not just for a flickering happiness, I'm in this world. We all have heard about the analogy of the Mahabharata, wherein a person was running. Recently, we heard also that how he falls in the well, and he gets one drop of honey, and he licks little bit, and then for that one drop of honey, he's feeling so joyful. Oh, so amazing, so amazing. He's happy with that, rather than all the bitings. Down there is a snake, above there is a tiger, and the rats day and night they are biting the root. All those things he's not worried. So that becomes our condition also. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, at many places, it speaks about this tapatraya. I'll just share some things from the Bhagavatam where it mentions about that. So in the 7:16:14, this Prahlad Maharaj is speaking to his friends. Kutumba Poshaya Vijaya Nijayo Nabudhyatertam Vihatam Pramatta Sarvatatapatraya Dukkitatma Nirvidyate Naswa Kutumbharama. He says, one who is too much attached, cannot understand that he is wasting his valuable life for the maintenance of his family. He also fails to understand that the purpose of human life, a life suitable for realization of absolute truth, is being imperceptibly spoiled. However, he is very cleverly attentive, seeing that not a single farthing is lost by mismanagement. Thus, although an attached person in the material existence always suffers from threefold miseries, it does not develop a distaste for the way of material existence. So this is how, like, the Bhagavatam is telling that how one is very careful. Like, he is expert in calculating the loss of pounds, shillings, and pence, but he is so foolish that he does not know how much money he is losing, even according to material consideration. Because Chanakya Pandit says that Ayushya kshana ekopi nalabhyate swarna koti. One moment lost cannot be got from the millions of the swarna, the gold coins, but still he is missing this whole valuable human form of life. So that is the condition. And there are many places in the Bhagavatam where it gives the solution what should be done for this tapatraya. And this is the place where, like in the third canto, Kapila Dev, when he speaks to his mother, Devahuti, telling about the different categories of the people and all. And then when he speaks about the transcendentalist, he speaks about how one should take the darshan of the Lord and what is the benefit of it. In that one or two shlokas, he says this. तस्यावलोकम् अधिकं कृपायति घोर तापत्रयोपशमनाय निसृष्टमक्ष्णोः स्निग्धस्मितानुगुणितं विपुलप्रसादं ध्याये चिरं विपुल भावनया गुहायाम्. He says, the yogi should contemplate with full devotion the compassionate glances frequently cast by Lord's eyes, for they soothe the most fearful threefold agonies of his devotees. His glances accompanied by loving smile are full of abundant grace. So here what one should do, a devotee should, like, no, contemplate with the full devotion the compassionate glances, eyes. In the next sloka, again uh, he says, Bhrumandale Munikrite Makara Hasam Hare Ravanatha Kilaloka Tivra Shoka Shrusagar Nimajjanamabhyupetya Sammohanaya Rachitum Nijamaya Yasya Bhrumandalam Munikrite Makaradvajasya. He says that Hasam Hare Avanatakira Loka Tivra. Like now in this material world, like now there is so much of, like now, suffering. Shoka Ashru Sagara. Like now, Ashru means the tears. Shoka Ashru means tears of lamentation of Sagara. Like now, 328:32. So he is so much of there, but he is in that, he is completely engrossed in that. And what is the way? Sammohanaya rachitam nijamayasya bhrumandalam munikrite makaradvajasya. So one should meditate on the bhrumandala, the eyebrows of the Lord. By doing that, it is said that makaradvajasya, the Kamadev, Cupid, cannot harm such a devotee. This is the shloka. A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of the Lord Hari, a smile which, for all those who bow to him, dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages. That it is said that whenever one feels like too much of disturbed by the Madana or the Cupid or the Kamadev, when the afflicted by the lust, and he should meditate on the eyebrows of the Supreme Lord. By meditating on this eyebrow, which is like the bow and arrow, because Kamadev, he has a bow and he has 10 arrows with which the flower arrows with which he inflicts the heart of a person, so he can protect himself. So that way, one of the solution what the Bhagavatam is telling is that to take shelter of the darshan of the Lord. And again, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, also in the first canto itself, we see that Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vasam matra vastu shivadam tapatrayo unmolanam. This Bhagavatam is speaking about the it is not Kaitava Dharma. It is the Kaitava Dharma is removed at the first instance only. That, and then what happens by following this Dharma or this transcendental religion, what happens? Tapatre unmulanam. This not, that's why it says that it is not the karma kanda or jnana kanda or anything can save or give solution. It is a pure, unmotivated, unadulterated devotional service. That only ye atma suprasidati. Only that can give the satisfaction to the soul. So that way, when one follows that, then one can be free from. Then what happens when he follows the pure devotional service? Then this tapatreya unmulana, these three tapatreyas, their unmulana means it is removed. And then again, this is also about telling about the Swayam Manu. It says that tapatre vinashanam, because his life was such that so Krishna conscious, although he had all the facilities, he enjoyed everything, but still he didn't affected by this. Having entered the city of Barhishmati, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his palace, which was filled with an atmosphere that eradicated the three miseries of material existence. The material world or metal is filled with threefold miseries, and Prabhupada explains that. And the miseries of material existence cannot affect the status of Krishna consciousness. See, the outside the material, there may be miseries, but that cannot affect a devotee in his Krishna consciousness. It is not that the miseries of the material world completely vanish when one takes to Krishna consciousness. It is not that there will be no miseries. It will be there. But for one who is Krishna conscious, the miseries of material existence have no effect. That means what? He is not worried about it, because we cannot stop the miseries of the material atmosphere, but Krishna consciousness is an antiseptic method to protect us from being afflicted by the miseries of material existence. So like an antiseptic, when we have a wound, we apply antiseptic. The same way, wound will be there in this material world, because this material world is dukkhalema shashvatam. But what happens is when we practice Krishna consciousness, it is like an antiseptic cream which gives soothing feeling. For a Krishna conscious person, both living in heaven and living in hell are equal. So, because he is not affected by any of these things. Again, in the 336, in that also it says that no one other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as localized Paramatma, the partial representation of the Lord, is directing all inanimate and animate objects. He is present in the three phases of time, that is past, present, and future. Therefore, the conditioned soul is engaged in different activities by his direction. And in order to get free from the threefold miseries of conditioned life, we have to surrender unto him only, because he can control them. See, all this are there in the presence of the time. And in the spiritual world, there is no effect of time. So that way, and Lord being the supreme controller, he can do whatever one wants. Yeah, then Prabhupada speaks about the Sarva Dharman Parityaja, that whole. And yeah, this is Narad Muni is telling to Vyasadeva, Narada Vyasa Samvada. Because when Vyasadeva was thinking that I am not happy after writing all the Shastras, that was the time Narad Muni comes and tells this. He says, "Oh Brahmana Vyasadeva, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So it says that, like no, etat samsuchitam brahmams, like no, samsuchitam, ये सूचना किया गया है all the brahmanas, तापत्रय चिकित्सकम, chikitse, we all know chikitsalaya. We know what is the remedial measure for the tapatraya, threefold miseries? Yad Ishware Bhagavati karma brahmani bhavitam. When you do any karma in brahmani bhavitam, in the like no bhava of the service in Krishna consciousness, Ishware Bhagavati, to whom it should be done? It should be done to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then this like no, that is the chikitse or the solution for ending this tapatraya. And all this, like no, Krishna is giving, and the like no, in the Bhagavatam itself. And this I told about the Dharma Projita. And I'll end with one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, that is 11th canto, like no, 11th canto, 19th chapter, 9th verse. Like no, you all can repeat behind me if you wish. तापत्रेणाभिहितस्य घोरे सन्तापमानस्य भवाद्वनीश पश्यामि नान्यच्चरणं तवाङ्घ्रि द्वन्द्वातपत्रात् अमृताभिवर्षात्. This Uddhava is telling tapatrayena, this threefold miseries, abhihatasya, that it is like overwhelming, and it is ghore, it is ghora, very terrible, and like I am santapamanasya, I am very much tormented by it. In this bhava, like now this in this middle world, it's bhavasagara, but like now you are the Lord, Supreme Lord, Isha. Pashyami nanyat charanam tavangri. I don't see na anyat. I don't see any other solution. I don't see. What is that? Charanam tavangri. Like one when takes the shelter of your lotus feet, tava angri. Dvandvata patrad. It becomes like a dvandva. Dvandva means the two lotus feet are like the like when takes shelter of your dvandva angri. It becomes like that you are angry, the lotus feet becomes like a atapatra. Atapatra means the umbrella. And what that umbrella does is, it amrita abhivarshat, it showers the nectar. And it is like that the whole, just imagine, the rain is coming and we are below the umbrella, we feel so much of protected. Although there may be heat or the cold, but the umbrella protects us. And the Lord's lotus feet is like that umbrella which can protect us from this threefold tapatraya. My dear Lord, for one who is being tormented on the terrible path of birth and death is constantly overwhelmed by threefold miseries, I do not see any possible shelter other than your two lotus feet, which are just like a refreshing umbrella that pours down showers of delicious nectar. So when we take shelter of the lotus feet, one can feel this kind of a relief, just like a person who is in the heat comes to the shade of a tree, he feels so much of comfort and soothing feeling. The same way, one who takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord feels that Amrita Vivarsha. So I pray to all of you also that please pray that I also take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord more seriously. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Swayam Prakash Prabhu, Thank you for Very nice class. So I request the devotees to share the comments or reflections or questions that you may have, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, I was feeling that the Lord first sent, like in the third chapter Bhagavad Gita, he said he sent forth the demigods, living entities, along with Vedas. So he gave us the directions, but we misused and we created this Dukkalayam, no, Prabhu? So should
No,
we think like that, or
no, this
Lord?
world is Dukkalaya. No, because this world is Dukkalaya, because Krishna is directly, he himself is telling Dukkalaya Ashashvatam. It's not
But
that
we
we
created
created it. No, it is
we
not that
create,
it's not that we
we are
create.
responsible. I mean, we are responsible for all the
Ah,
miseries. We ourselves are responsible
yeah,
for our miseries.
yeah, we are responsible for our miseries, that I agree. Because it is our desires which has brought us to this material world. So that
Yes.
way, it is correct that we are responsible. But it is not that we are creating that miseries, because this material world is created with those, like inbuilt it is.
No, yes, Prabhu. We have to think like that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhu. Dandavat pranams, Prabhu. I got the clarity now, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Other than this class, Prabhu, I will had a doubt. In Mukunda Mala Stotra, Kulashekara Alvar, he actually is the Prabhu, Bhagavan's Srivatsa Kaustubha. He is Kaustubha Prabhu.
You are asking,
Kulashekara.
you are asking or telling?
I'm just asking to clarify whether I'm correct. Kulashekara.
Yeah, Kolshek Alvar, I'm not sure, but yes, he's one of the, like, no, all the jewels came in the different the acharyas and all. I'll just clarify, Mataji. Mostly, I am not very clear. I remember vaguely that yes, it is correct that Kaustuba came in Kulashekar, but I can think, check with the.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. That's all.
Hare Krishna Swayam Prakash Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhuji. So
Yeah.
this Kale Masashvatam, we keep, I mean, at least I keep hearing that again and again and again. But nevertheless, that real understanding of Dukkalayam Asashvatam never gets into the heart. And whenever some small happiness comes, this statement of Dukkalayam Asashvatam goes away from the mind. Only, when I take a hit, that time it comes up and then it disappears like a flash.
Yeah, bro. That's how the material world is made also. That I was telling, no, that you might have heard that analogy of the person who is running, like he falls in the well. You heard that analogy, bro, from Mahabharata?
You can tell us, Prabhu. We all don't know.
Once a person, like he was running in the forest, like no, and he means he was in the forest that time. Suddenly he saw that a tiger, and he got fearful, and he started chasing him. He started running, and then like no, he thought, almost I'm gone. At that time, suddenly he sees there's a well in front of him. He doesn't know what to do. There's no other way than to. He thought, okay, now I cannot do anything. Just he jumps in the well. It was a empty well, no water, and he was half the way. Suddenly he gets a shrub. He catches hold of the shrub, and he sees down there's a big snake which is hissing. Oh, like with a wide mouth open. That okay, now I'm getting my food. On top there is a like tiger looking at the bottom. This snake is there, and he's holding that shrub, and he carefully sees that the shrub's root are being eaten up by two rats, like no white and black rat. Two are there, it is eating up. And meanwhile, all around, like no, there are many mosquitoes and other flies which are coming and biting him. And so much of this one on top, tiger, bottom, snake, and this rat is don't know when it will finish the cut the root and he's going to fall down. And meanwhile, all these are biting. At that time, like from the top of there was a tree, there was a honeycomb. From that, one drop of honey falls, and then it falls on his lip, and he like the doesn't like the get that honey. He feels so amazing taste, so tasty it is. He forgets all those things and he looks, when can I get the another drop of honey? So this is what is compared to the happiness or the sukha in this world, that there is so much of torment and in between one drop of honey comes and then one feels and like, oh, it's so amazing. And then again forgets all these things. And then again when he gets a jerk, then again like he becomes quite alarmed. And then again he becomes absorbed in trying to see for that this one. So that's what it says, that there's like uh, I don't remember exactly of that what tiger represents. This like well represents this like gram andhakupam, which Bhagavatam also tells this like andhakupam, very dark well. And in this there is a the down the snake represents the kala sarpa. That is like the mrityu is waiting to catch us, and this the black and white rat represents the day and night, which is eating away the root. That means once the root is cut, he's going to fall down. The same way, when the day and night our ayu is over, we are going to end. And meanwhile, there is so much of the biting of this insect, that is these threefold miseries are inflicted upon us. Within all these things, there is one drop of that is like that's like the flickering happiness keep coming in this world, and then we become forgetful of that. So that when we see, keep reminding ourselves of, oh, this material world, what it is, then like yes, that doesn't mean that the devotees are free from the sufferings or they don't enjoy it, they're always in the no, but they're aware of it, and when that comes, they know how to deal with it. Hope it answers me.
Thank you, Prabhu. That picture is wonderful one, Prabhu. The analogy that you explained. I think there are no other questions from the devotees. Any other questions? Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable association and sharing the nectar. We'll end today's session with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha Kalpata Rupyasya Kripa Siddho Bhyevacha Geetanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava Namo Namaha. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Oh,
Koti
just a minute.
Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Just a minute. This is the one. When you see also, it becomes more this one. See, like, he's like
Yeah.
he is falling the well. There is Kala Sarpa is there, and here, like, now see this other snakes, I don't know, but then he's beaten up by the insects, and the black and white rats are there, and he's getting some. This one, like, no, I think in this it is shown as if some fruit is shown. Like, no, there is no this one, but he's busy with that. Yes, bro. Thank you, bro. Thanks. Thank you for.
I think this picture should be the this
Sorry?
picture should be the screensaver in the mobile phone. I said this picture should be the.
Yeah. We need to keep reminding
Thank you.
ourselves what is on this.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees. We'll end today's session. We'll meet again tomorrow morning. Krishna willing. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.